All right, folks, One Bloor West. A judge cancels 314 units, all right, in this build. Yes, I covered this exact topic years and years ago when Mizrahi went into receivership. I will share that video in the end. But how does this make any sense whatsoever? I will get into this particular topic, and it's just mind-boggling. I mean, like, I just don't understand that when you purchase a condo, a pre-construction condo, there are certain elements in a agreement that we have to all follow, correct? Right? So developers, they have to develop to a certain, point, and they receive more money from the bank. The purchaser and the buyer, they have to come up with their down payments in a particular order and time. So everything works out well. However, in this case, folks that purchased in 2015 and 16, they got their agreements canceled. 314 agreements completely canceled. Just imagine that for a second. Yes, they will get their deposits back. They will get their deposits back with interest, right? However, imagine the time spent. It's been like, what are we talking about here? Almost 10 years. They locked in your money. They will return the money with a little bit of interest on that. But what are you losing, right? You're losing the opportunity. You're losing your spot because you bought it years ago. You're counting on that. Like there are people that maybe rejig their life, right? Because they wanted to be in the, that's a premium building. It's almost like a statue for Toronto, right? Like we have CN Tower. That building is gonna be the next big thing. Like in Mississauga, we have these, Marilyn Monroe towers, right? Like they represent and they anchor a particular town or city, right? So imagine that. So let's get into some details here. So one of the Canadian most hyped luxury towers, right, just collapsed financially. A court canceled 314 purchase agreements, almost the entire building. Buyers who waited 7 years plus were told your deal is gone. That's it, right? People who bought in 2017 and 18 now have no more home, no appreciation, and no recourse. Developer bankruptcy triggered a legal reset. Mizrahi Developments fell into receivership owing $1.9 billion. As mentioned, you will have a link at the end of this video. I spoke with a good friend of mine, Nick, and we were just like, he's a lawyer, by the way, so we were just talking back in the day, what will happen with the deposits and all of that stuff. But this is surprising that they can cancel the agreement, and even if there's some equity growth or anything like that, they can just cancel it and start fresh, start from scratch. I don't know, like it almost feels unfair. Like what I believe should be fair. Like this is my opinion. All right, so if we have 314 units, all right, so we have to give options. Option A, we return your deposit with interest and see you later, right? You lose your condo, your spot, and whatever you're losing, but you're losing it consciously because we know. Second option, if you like to remain, because you already have a contract in place from back in the day, then you remain. And everything that's in that contract has to be fulfilled or honored. But that's not the case. Clearly not the case, right? So that's not the first time. I know cases in Mississauga. I know cases in on the east, like Ajax, and I know cases in Milton. But those were the early stages. People purchased, they waited a year, the developer couldn't do it, boutique style, condo complex, whatever, they decided, okay, I'm pulling the plug, return the deposits. Not fair, but it is what it is, right? But this is, you're waiting for something for such a long time. You're preparing, you're rejigging your life. And oh my gosh, this is insane. So please comment if this is fair. Like, shouldn't people have the option, opt in or opt out, right? And then let them decide. Like, maybe some people don't have financial problems and they clearly want to stay. So I just don't get that, right? Tridel swooped in, but not to save buyers. They requested cancellations to resell units at potential higher cost in 2026. Because in 2015 and 2016, these units were selling roughly on average around $1,000 a foot. So let's not forget, right, that this is a premium product. It's a hype premium state-of-the-art location, building, amenities, and everything like that. So some people are buying for bragging rights, right? Okay, they got the money, fine, I get it, right? But I just don't understand how they can just wipe the old contracts. Like, I just don't understand that, right? Court approved. Contracts ripped up so new profits can be made. Judge Osborne said it's imperfect but necessary under creditor law. So I do not know details, right? Like, I don't know the full scenario. Judge Osborne, Tridel, Mizrahi developed. I don't know exactly like this. Like, we're talking billions of dollars here in default by Mizrahi and all of that stuff. But hold on a second. Like the buyers have nothing to do with all of that scenario. The buyers came in legitimately, honored the contract. Those who didn't got punished, I'm assuming, and that's it. So what is the problem, right? So no, we're gonna wipe the clean slate and let's start fresh. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad for these people. 314 canceled, only 15 deals deemed viable. Shows how fragile pre-construction economics really are. Guys, like by now we know. Like, I mean, this is like crazy. Like the entire condo feel and like everything that has been hovering around these condos, it's definitely negative. Like, there's really no positives. Like, you cannot make money as a landlord, you cannot make money as an owner, you cannot make money as an investor, you cannot resell it, you cannot move in because they're too small, you cannot, like, what can you really do? Like, I mean, like most people are literally hitting that wall. Like, that's it, right? So, you know, they're carrying their burdens, right? I get it, but this is something different. Like, this plug has been pulled by other forces, right? Seems like. Deposits totaled 105 million, gone back with zero market gain. Meanwhile, Tridel expects 200 million in new profits selling the same units, right? I get that. Tridel, great developer, awesome. They built some of amazing projects in throughout Canada, I'm assuming, but I know for Toronto GTA, stunning, right? Sold many units. They know what they're doing. However, what are the people in this case? Like, do you understand what I mean? Why did they, like, I get it, it's all about money, but it's not their fault. These people, 2015, 2016, went into that sales office, took a leap of faith, bought it, standing in line, now doesn't matter, but they did what they had to do. So why these consequences now? I just don't get that. This is a warning shot to all and for all pre-construction projects. If a developer collapses, even your legal binding contract means nothing. I don't understand. And I'll get into a short story for you guys right here. All right. So I obviously had an agreement with the clients, sold their townhouse. I sold many townhomes in this complex. It's a fair size complex. We're talking probably 200 to 300 units. Beautiful. It's in Mississauga. Sold their unit. these folks, they bought it. Everything was fine, right? No problems. Closing came arrived. 1 day before closing, buyer agent calls me. Said, we have a problem. Said, okay, so what's the problem? Is it from your end or my end? Because I don't know. Because closing, extensions, and all of that stuff. He's like, no. You wrote in the contract, in the agreement, that we have stove, fridge, microwave, hood, and a dishwasher. I said, yeah. It's like, well, but there's no dishwasher. Like, are you kidding me? So when I did walk through the house many times, 2-3 times, took notes. This, that, 4-piece bathroom, powder room, this, that, basement, small, taking notes and stuff like that. And I obviously I was in the kitchen, so I counted the appliances, I wrote it down, like everything was fine. But in my head, the spot, it's a 24-inch wide space for a dishwasher, but there was no dishwasher. There was just like a regular door, wooden door, right? But I just wrote it down. Dishwasher, stainless steel on top of that, because everything else was stainless steel. And guess what? I had to honor it. So, okay. So I said, no problem. I'll honor it. Obviously, the buyers came in and said we want $1,800 for a dishwasher because it's a stainless steel. They chose like a Miele or Bosch or something like that, and plus installation. I said, guys, it's not fair. So anyways, we shook hands somewhere around $800. So the unit was $599, I believe, and then installation $150 to $200, something like that. But this is what I'm saying. So I had to honor it, right? So why couldn't I say, okay, so sorry, I made a mistake, right? So I'll tell you another story. So we were buying. I had a buyer, beautiful house in Etobicoke, central Etobicoke, stunning, right? Back split and stuff like that, huge, beautiful lot, nice. All right, so they wrote everything, we sealed everything, everything was done, and my clients, they're like, well, hold on a second, we moved in and we're receiving bills. I'll say, oh, that's interesting. Bills for what? It's like, well, our hot water tank, I thought we owned it. I said, well, yeah, because I couldn't find anywhere in the agreement that it was rented or leased, right? So I called the other agent. I said, hey, hi, how you doing? We went, oh, okay, congrats. Did you receive it? I said, yeah, fine, everything is great. You know what? Hot water tank, it's a rental and it doesn't state it anywhere. So you guys have to buy a hot water tank for my clients. Like, no, you know what? 95% or 98% in the neighborhood and probably anywhere in Toronto GTA they're leased. So that's it's a common practice. So I'm like, well, we cannot assume. So if it was rental, you had to write it short form, HWT, hot water tank, or you write it out, hot water tank, and then at least I know my client knows and we both. Listen, it's not a deal breaker. It happens all the time, right? But all I'm saying, check this out. It happened. Guess what happened? They bought it. They had to buy it. It wasn't in the agreement. So how everyone else has to agree to the agreement, but sometimes, I guess, in some circumstances, you can just rip the agreement and who cares? So I don't know. Tell me what you think. Anyways, so phase 2 of the correction is here. Developer failures, mass cancellations, pre-com buyers are now the newest victim of Canada housing unraveling. Yes, so I talked about this in many of my videos. Phase number 1, it was definitely condo and pre-construction. So phase number 2, because everything seems to be linked to one another, even detached. That's the phase 2. It is crumbling. We can see definitely huge cracks. We have seen hairline cracks, right? But these hairline cracks were patched by more money, by more debt, by more savings fuel just to paint over the hairline crack. But now the crack, you cannot paint over it. Now the cracks are wide and big, and now everything is seeping through them. Now there's no band-aid fixes here. Now we have to dig deep to fix the hole. So how are we going to do that, right? So in this case, listen, maybe some of these, 300 plus units, maybe some are happy that they will get their money back or their deposit with a little bit of interest. Not a big deal, not even worth mentioning. But, some people are happy. They're like, hey, listen, it's the $100,000 that, like I'm getting back. Maybe I can patch another hole and continue on with my life, right? And they're maybe happy. But it's not fair. Like all I'm saying, they should have the option of saying, yes, I do not want it. Give me my deposit, or I'm willing to stay and let's just continue and honor the agreement. So please like, share, and subscribe. And I hope you got something valuable out of this video. And I'll see you in the next one.